everybody, and welcome back to These Views. It's an Effin book club. Happy New Year. Uh, although it's February, what, second, third. So I have Chelsea
Hi.
and Sir Simon as usual, who just became a barcode. Okay, so Chelsea suggested the book,
Yes.
so she's going to introduce and give a little background on the book, the synopsis, the author, and then we'll get into the normal discussion. Let's go.
The book that we're reviewing this month is Attached: The New Science of Adult Attachments and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love by Amir, Levine, and Rachel Heller. Dr. Amir Levine is an adult and child adolescent psychiatrist and neuroscientist. He has been conducting neuroscience research at Columbia University, New York for several years. And Rachel Heller holds a BA in the BA is they have another thing for BA? Like is it like
Bachelor of Arts.
British Airways, Bachelors of Arts.
a Bachelor's of Arts? That's it? That's what it means?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Rachel Heller holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in behavioral science, psychology, anthropology, and sociology, and has a master's in social organizational psychology from Columbia University. I did some research into the anything about them collaborating on the books. I didn't find anything much, which I found was a bit strange.
Why?
Strange.
What do you mean they
Oh,
didn't collaborate on the book?
I mean, yes, they did, but I thought like they would like come and like give
Put it
like a
out there.
little,
Okay.
yes, see how it was developing the
Yeah,
book
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that. Okay. Attachment theory is a psychological evolutionary theory concerning relationships between humans. The most important tenet is that the young person needs to develop a relationship with at least one primary caregiver for normal social and emotional development. The theory was formulated by the British psychiatrist John Bowlby, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Um, yes, so attachment theory is basically the way, from my perception, the way organism, I call us an organism, well, a human, a being, um, forms a relationship with,
Other human
I don't
beings.
know, I know, not other human beings, but the person that they go to for
The
security.
significant, like the
Yeah,
significant
the
other.
significant other, the person that they look to for protection and security, basically.
And why is that important?
I don't know. Y'all
No,
should tell
why
me,
is it
LBB.
that okay? What do you think is the most important relationship a person besides with themselves somebody's supposed to have in their life once you're born, like in order for you to be considered successful at life, and not okay, sorry, I shouldn't say that. A good one would be considered, but the one that they should strive to try to get and maintain.
I feel like the first persons that they come in contact with, so basically your parents or whoever that is taking care of you as a child.
So that's
Because
the
as a
that's
child
the
you would
no, I
need
mean
to.
throughout your life, that's the most important relationship you think the person should try to work on.
No, 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 no. I
Or
think
do you
all
think you could even
relationships
rank them? That's
you
what,
could
yeah.
you can never. I don't think that you can rank these sorts of.
Think so. Biologically, the one that you should be most concerned about, besides yourself for real, is the thing you could do. Okay, out of all the seven characteristics of life, I used to say, oh crap, I forget what I used to say. That all of them had to do with you, like your well-being, your survival. But there's only one that deals with like another human being to in order to further yourself, in order for you to further survive, because the only way you survive beyond death is the um of your offspring. That's the only way a piece of you is surviving after death. Like, but everything
Mm,
else is you trying to survive, you trying and live a long life as possible. But the final thing that'll always get you in the end is death. So
exactly.
the only thing after that. So I think, in my mind, I think I think other relationships are important and necessary for your development too. But then, if you're talking about your survival, is getting a significant other, romantic significant other that you could reproduce with, physically reproduce with. I always thought that. So what else? The reason why
Even
I asked,
before this book.
yeah, that's always my outlook on like I don't know. I have a few reasons why other relationships to me not really important, I guess you could say, because I don't think they were really nurtured properly from the beginning. But I mean, the one thing all of us try to do is get a significant other, and I guess because these other relationships were not really nurtured to me, like that was the one that I felt like I should put, because at the end of the day, that's the one that's going to be my daily interest. Like I'll
And
be planning my life around that, not
right.
my friends, not
And
my other family.
and if you think about, I didn't hear the question because my internet went for a bit and I was stuck. But
Mm,
and if you think about how life goes, really and truly, that's all everything is about, your significant other. If you think about it really and truly, I
yeah.
mean, yeah, we here on earth and we live in, you know, some people say that we live in serve God, some people say that we live in to do whatever, we're here to help others. But essentially, everything that we do is almost to like impress somebody else.
In order for you to reproduce.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
True.
And even animals, that's all they do. There's live, there's eat, and this man meets to have more children. And then instinctively, like that's just part
Yeah.
of what it is. So I guess I could see what you're saying in terms of that being probably the most important relationship um, in life.
Yeah.
Finding a significant other, um,
Yeah, that's the only
getting,
way you continue beyond the thing that would always get you, which is that gets everybody.
yeah. And you do think about that, and it's not something that you think about. That and this is the only way I'm gonna survive on Earth when I die, having children. But it's true,
Mm. But some people don't want that. Some people don't want to go beyond. But anyway, let me just straight. But
right?
yeah, I was thinking, some people don't want to go beyond, and some people want to continue as they serve beyond their time, which is ridiculous. But anyway, that's why I said, like, I wonder why they chose that relationship and they didn't. The next most primal relationship is your relationship with your parents, like the most biological to me. Like, as it pertains to self, is the one behind you. Like, powered is your offspring, but the one behind you is the next. Not even the ones horizontal, like meaning your siblings.
Your siblings, yeah.
I'm talking about like in your line. But that's why I was wondering, why is that one they use out of all of them? Because I think, yeah, I believe that is one of the most important things. Just because not you surviving too, and you surviving, your genes surviving, but you also I feel like it's an instinctive thing for you to make your genes survive. That anyway.
So
But
so 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 the question was, you wasn't sure why they use
that
um,
relationship,
parents and
why the
children.
why they didn't use parents and child or sibling, or because I
I
think they're
think
important, but they're
maybe
not strong.
maybe it was just to focus on romantic attachment styles. Maybe that was just the main focus of it. But I guess if they had to
But they
go
didn't
into
use.
different
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
if they had to go into different relationship styles, I guess they would have.
Use something else.
I mean,
But
yeah,
to
yeah,
me,
yeah.
I feel the reason they use that is because I feel like they were trying to say that your attachment style is something that developed from when you're a baby, right? So even if you romantically or just regular friends, like you are whatever the three different attachment styles were,
Yeah, I was
avoidance
getting that
or
vibe from
whatever,
it too.
is you develop you born and you're born with this attachment style. You're born and everybody's different, right? And everybody's different because whether it's nature, whether that's just how your brain operates, or that's how you were nurtured into be behaving. But a lot of it has to do with that's just how your brain operates. So you were born, and this is the what I got. You're born, and
And
in your mind, like you don't know it as yet because you're a baby, of course, right? But as you grow up, you develop this attachment style because that's what's in your brain, and then that's what's gonna stick with you for the rest of your life. Whether it be romantically, whether it be a regular platonic friend, whether it be a workmate, you're gonna have this
same
avoidance,
attachment style.
or
Yeah.
yeah, and it's something that you're born with. So when you look at children and how they react or how they behave, you could just extrapolate that to how this person is gonna be when they're 30 or when they're 45, etc. That's
I was just thinking of the same thing. So I was saying, what if the way that you um react to people being close to you is based on how you were treated as a child, your attachment styles, your no, the way that you were treated, the way that you were taken care of. So if your parent was very avoidant and didn't want to spend much time with you, maybe as a child, as an adult, you would grow to have an avoidant attachment
exactly.
style, and that will reflect in the way that you deal with your coworkers, your spouses, even
But
your
yeah,
children.
yeah,
So
and it's
I
both.
feel
I
like
think it's a combination of both nature
yeah,
and
like you
nurture.
are born that way, right? You are born that way, and then like thing. But and the thing is, you'll never know. You'll never know because you could never tell how somebody's what somebody was born with. You know what I mean? So you can never tell what how much percentage of it is nature and how much percent of it is nurture. Because
I
just for
uh-huh.
me,
Sorry.
right? I listening to this book, reading this book, whatever this now was saying, I I don't know. I feel like I'm avoidant and possibly secure, right? If that's a
Mm.
combination,
Yeah,
right?
I think
And
they said that one was really rare. Oh wait, but we didn't say what the three are. We just talking about attachment styles.
I mean, I
right,
was coming
right.
to that, but
Sorry, sorry.
We went off on a tangent. Sorry.
wow.
You
I
So
good?
know,
I'll
sorry.
quickly read this little paragraph that I took from the book. It says, most people are unaware of their attachment behavior. The brain has a biological mechanism specifically responsible for creating and regulating our relation to attachment figures like that of a child and a mother or romantic partners. The mechanism called the attachment system consists of emotions and behaviors that assures us that we stay safe and protected and close to our loved ones. So just to, you know,
Yeah.
you
So the
wasn't even
three.
listening to me.
I was.
No, I listened. I
The,
listened. You didn't see me shake my head. I said yes.
so the three attachment styles that he did mention in the book was the anxious, the avoidant, and the secure. And
Hmm.
I did break down each so that we could maybe
Yeah,
speak
yeah.
about it some more. Like,
All right, but before we do that, I think I added some notes. I said I think I was all three attachment styles at some time in my life, and I have levels of each: anxious, avoidant, secure. Yeah,
Right,
I think
right.
different parts, yeah, and different experiences brought out. Like one was more dominant. I think I had all three. I always have all three, but then it's like
Hmm.
one is more dominant than others at different times in my
and,
life, not
and
just
I had
throughout.
to, and I had to remind myself that I was just a theory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, like sometimes they kind of like for people like me, I don't even know where I am. I don't know where I fall in this thing right there. I was trying to
Oh,
figure it
really?
out. Yeah,
Right.
I was trying to figure it out, but I some parts I just couldn't recognize because it wasn't me.
I was
You understand?
recognizing
And I
me, and
feel
I was
like
recognizing other people in my life.
yeah, I was doing that as well, but I didn't
Mhm.
recognize like some parts of myself I did recognize, but not all in all situations. Like certain things just didn't apply to me because I feel like through all what I've been through, I guess I I'm a psychopath.
You become a psychopath. You see,
I feel
my
that's what
thing is,
happened.
my thing was, I felt like very similarly to you all. I felt like at some point in your life, you displayed um, aspects from all three of them. Everybody, no matter who you are, like you might be an avoidant, you might think you're an avoidant person, you might feel like you're particularly in romantic relationships because I feel like the person that is anxious, they have a lot of jealousy, right? And in your
Insecurity.
relationships, I'm sure there was some moments when you yourself was like, I've done some of these things that this anxious person did.
Yeah.
You probably didn't call somebody 50 million times, but you're like, okay, I called you already. Let me wait and see how long you want to take to call me. And then other times you're very secure in a
So
relationship.
like that, I feel like also the reason why in certain relationships you were not anxious or avoidant, I guess because a person met your needs in a relationship,
They
so
were
you
more
didn't need
secure.
um to quote unquote give protest behavior as the book
Right, right. With this behavior.
said.
Yeah.
So I guess in that relationship he did or she did the things that make you feel secure, that didn't make you feel unloved or had you wondering about where you stood with that person or whatever. I guess in that relationship they communicated, and
Right.
I don't agree that maybe all anxious people are jealous. I believe it's just the way that they were brought up. Maybe that they perceive actions differently than persons of avoidance
More
or
Secure.
secure.
security.
Right. Jealous, right. I agree with you. I don't think everybody there is jealous. I just feel like that, as you said, that's how it was brought across. It just made them seem like they're annoying, they're jealous all the time, they always want to complain, always want to, that's how it was brought across. But I don't believe, I mean, I feel like
Because you're
everybody has,
avoidant.
right, because, because they're anxious.
Because you are avoidant. So anxious attachment style. So it says children living with caregivers who are neglectful, abusive, or emotionally unavailable are more likely to develop an anxious attachment style. This
True.
attachment style can increase the risk for anxiety disorders and low self-esteem later in life. This attachment style is rooted in fear of abandonment or rejection, and I
Oh
agree.
boy. Oh yes. That
I
it
agree.
was that wows me most of my life, and um less now, definitely in the last few years less. But that was me mostly all the time.
And I
And I
remember reading the book and I was thinking to myself, I believe some people can maybe grow secure and maybe because of who they surround themselves with and persons what persons have said to them maybe destroyed who they truly are and who they truly were, sorry. So I guess sometimes you can grow a particular way, but then because of who is around you in your environment, you can now change it to whatever else. Even with in romantic relationships, I would be open and I would speak about things.
Mhm.
But it's just like so unhealthy, and I feel like too, like who you associate with, who you let into your life can trigger things that you suppressed maybe as a child, or you acknowledge, like you acknowledge while you were growing up, you acknowledge that maybe, yeah, I am anxious, and you did a lot to come from that place, but like as human beings sometimes you fall back into that place because of maybe somebody.
So, and as you just said that, to me, just knowing you from here, when you say that you felt like you are anxious person, or you've experienced that anxiety in relationships, that is weird. Like I feel like, again, just knowing you from here, like you are not that kind of person. I feel like you are a very secure
Oh, but you
person.
didn't say that for me, but you know that's who I am.
I also, with you, when you talk, Veronique, because I know you more than
Chelsea.
Chelsea, right? When you talk, I listen because I feel like you don't lie. So when you say that, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And
You
I
feel like
also
I
do feel
don't
like you
lie?
are.
Wait, what did you say?
Anyway, yeah, Veronique, I was saying, I feel like you don't lie. So when you use, if I had to give you, I think, Veronique, I would say that you are very avoidant. Like if
I
I
was
had,
thinking the same thing too.
I would
Because
have
I
said that you are an
remember,
avoidant.
yes, avoidant. Because I remember when I was leaving your place and I was coming to her, like, oh,
Oh, yeah, I have a little bit of that. It's strong.
Right. So avoidant, secure, more secure for Chelsea as opposed to avoidant. What I didn't like about the book, not what I didn't like or what I felt like the book didn't address, is that, or maybe it did and I probably forgot. And we keep saying this, that everybody has, in romantic relationships particularly, you've experienced all three of these different attachment styles.
I
There are
agree. I
times when you're
agree.
anxious, there are times when you're avoidant. well, probably not as avoidant as he explained it in the book, but there are times when you have those three things, and it just depends on who the other person is, really and truly. If you really don't like the other person, like it's just I talking to this person, and I don't know if I want to be in a relationship with them, you're gonna be avoidant, you know. If you
Let me just say, I think the book did speak about the person that you are with would trigger. Let me see if I have it
different,
here. It did says that it would trigger you to either have protest behavior if you're anxious, and or if you're
Yeah.
avoidant, you would have deactivating
you
based
would
on
have
who you meet and who you decide to have a romantic relationship with. You would
Mhm.
ugh, shit, I lost the
It
train
will
of
bring
thought.
out
you would
another
have
part of
It
different
you.
would
types
Like
bring
of
you'll
out
feel
it
more
would
attachment
bring out
styles.
secure. You'll feel more
Yeah,
secure.
the secure part of you. It would help you to be more mature when it comes to making certain decisions. So I guess it all depends again, as you said, to Simon, who
the
you're in a
person that you,
relationship with.
right. So what I feel like the book should have dealt with, or looked at, is you as a person in general, how you deal with, yes, the people that are around you, and then that might have brought out, when you deal with attachment styles and just you living your regular life, like you just walking down the road, you handling meeting a stranger, or you interacting with your coworkers, like that might have been more truthful in terms of these attachment styles as opposed to just romantically, if you understand what I'm saying. Because as you say, yeah, different people bring out different things in you, so you're gonna have you may have a different attachment style, although you are still the same person, your attachment
Yeah,
style
that
might
is the
be different.
confusion. Like you have a main one that just there underlying, and then
Right,
with other people you have this
right.
more. Oh,
And
it
you're gonna
depends on the combination.
I what I didn't like, the thing that I wish the book addressed was when it's unhealthy, when the anxious is unhealthy, when the avoidance is unhealthy, like when does it become unhealthy in the relationship? Because
I
I
feel
believe
like
that can be, yes, you can be avoidant, but when is it unhealthy? And you can be anxious, but when does your behavior become unhealthy? And that means that you should maybe seek help, or just have some
Or
type
do
of
some
like damage
introspection,
about
like
yourself, like just
mm,
talk to
the,
yourself.
yeah, the way those two personality types or attachment types were displayed in this book, portrayed in this book, they both sound unhealthy all the time.
I have a definition for the protest behavior. When attachment needs are not met, the behavior escalates, and the anxious or avoidant person may resort to protest behavior. A protest behavior is any action that tries to reestablish connection with their partner and get their attention. So I just what I should have just done a
like to be
definition
on
for
good,
it.
basically to get back on good terms. Like you want to be, but
Right.
then
But
sometimes
I
it's
it's
remember
it's,
I
wrong.
it's a
remember
It's
bad
wrong. It's
thing.
according to
saying
you, but it's wrong sometimes because it could really just turn off the person.
Right, because the protest behaviors are not, the examples that he gave. They don't sound like good things. You being angry with the person, you calling them down a million times, and then
But I get,
pretending
but it's
you don't
because I
care
guess that's the characteristics of the protest behavior of your attachment style.
of that person.
Probably that's what it is. But yeah, like, and you know what I was thinking? I wonder if um when somebody brings out, I think when somebody brings out the anxious side of you in a relationship, that's how you know it's toxic.
mhm.
Mm,
It give you have more talk and you have more avoidant, let's say, especially, sorry, not avoidant, anxious, that's the toxic one. Avoidant is the loveless one, because I think you could have an anxious thing and still love the person, but it's just really toxic. And then
But
the other
avoidant
one
do
is where
love
you,
as well.
huh,
right,
Let
because
me
see
read let
this,
me read what I have on
because
avoidant.
uh,
Oh, sorry.
you say
Continue
they
saying to
do love.
Simon.
you go,
They do
no,
love, yeah, they do love.
yeah, I was,
They
yeah, I
just
was,
cannot handle closeness. They just cannot
yeah,
handle
yeah.
persons
Oh
that
my god,
close
well then
feeling or
that's me
whatever.
then. I have it.
He's
That is
he
that. You see,
says
that's
it
that's.
it says avoidance usually stem from some sort of early trauma, When our needs aren't met constantly by our primary caregivers, we form a disbelief that we form a disbelief that they won't be met by any significant other and that we can't ever rely on others. Sometimes parents feel overwhelmed or anxious when confronted with a child's emotional needs and close them off emotionally, completely ignoring the child's emotional needs or connection, yes. Avoidance fear intimacy, but instead of admitting this to themselves, they fall in love with people who are emotionally or physically unavailable.
Yeah,
You see,
partially.
they're going back to this parent thing, because not particularly in romantic relationships. If the only way I'm an avoidant person in if I'm tr- ugh, and I want to say if I'm trying to get to know somebody, because that would be incorrect. The only way I'm avoidant, because he when he read them things, I was like, yeah, I just do them things sometimes, and it's because I'm not interested in terms of romantic relationships. If I'm acting avoidant, it's because I'm not interested. But with people, friends, people that close, people that are around me, I'm avoidant a lot of the times, because if I realize I'm getting too close to somebody, and not even for romantic reasons, just me and this person starting to get real good, I just want to pull away, because I'll be like, I can't handle that. That's too much for me. Like, I can't, I don't know. I really
And
don't
like
know.
I kind of yearn for that more than anything.
For real?
But
Mm-hmm.
then
Nah,
how
that's
you
me
you
personally.
yearn for it, but then to me like you push it away because when I just hug you, that's push me
Before,
away.
I think now it's gotten it's I think it was like a pivot. Like I think you could an anxious person could turn avoidant really quickly if they realize like over and over and over they just keep getting hurt and hurt and
Mm,
hurt and hurt, and it's like, you know what, fuck you. Like
that's a good point. That's a good
I
point
think
because
maybe that's
I
what
I
happening
I
to me.
I, I
I'm trying
don't.
to build that back up because I think had a pivoting time in my life, and I'm just trying to build it back up now. Maybe.
And that's me too. Like, you come and hug me, and I will stiffen up, and I'll be like, don't hug me. Although we good, people that I'm good at, I can hug, and I don't even hug my friends and stuff like that, because it's just so intimate, and like I'm like,
For
Yeah, I
me,
huh?
for
personally
me,
am.
I believe like I
I just
thrive
sorry,
best
sorry,
in a
sorry, sorry,
in.
sorry, Charlie,
Go
before I
ahead,
cut
go
you
ahead,
off,
go ahead.
right? So my point about that is this whole parenting thing, because they were saying avoid in this thing. You were saying avoidance. They've been essentially not given love by their parents or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
they were neglected as a parent.
I didn't have none of that. I didn't get none of that. Like, my family was good. My family was good. Like, we was good, right? So
But
when I
it
think
doesn't
about that,
necessarily means like they were
right,
around, you know. It could mean like
right.
neglected in certain ways, like let's say for instance not showing up at important meetings or like little things, no? Oh God,
And
well
sometimes you
then.
could be suppressed
And
and you
then
cannot realize that you're suppressing
maybe,
it though.
maybe, maybe, maybe,
Sorry,
because
just
but me, when I was younger, I think I felt like I was anxious. Well, I didn't feel that way. This is what my mom used to tell me. Like, as a child, I used to feel like I was probably anxious, because I would be the only person that would cry when I'm dropped off at preschool. I would
ah.
need my mother to carry me all the way to school. My other siblings, they would be like, "No, I'll find my way." I would be the one that needed somebody
Wow.
to come with me.
So
Mm.
what if when like as growing like I mean like there's a certain point where your parents need to cut off certain behaviors. What if at that point when you know that cutting off period was that little cutting off session was going on, like you know what so Simon, it's time for you to um walk by yourself or stop
What if?
crying because that could have maybe been a subconscious thing and
Maybe
eventually growing up you maybe felt as if maybe as a child you felt as if that wasn't like that was a need that wasn't met so you felt as if they were not
meeting us at that point.
yes and then
So
you
so so
suppress
you're
it
saying, so at some point in
subconsciously
life, okay, probably,
and
probably,
you never know
probably, probably.
I feel
If
like
I was the
I
person that
thrive
needed somebody.
I thrive best in relationships where I'm able to express how I feel.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like I
I think
show a
that's
lot of love.
everybody.
I'm a very like loving person. So I love kisses and I love hugs. But then not lately, but because of like I don't know, all of my past and like all those things like people not necessarily in romantic relations, but people in general. I feel now I still have that same regard for love, attention, affection, all that. It's just that now like I just don't trust people the same way I just doubt everything now. And I feel like that's bad and unhealthy. But I
You,
doubt things, but I still love.
I hear what you're saying, but if a bomb drop on you there now, that you just like on the tippy edge of avoiding there now. That's what because like I know exactly how you feel, and I remember like I tired of being hurt, but let me just do this again, and then it's like, all right, you know what? You know
And
what?
that's true. That's true to it. Like you could have probably been a maybe even a secure person, and then you've had really bad experiences, and then it changed you to
Yeah.
become
Mm-hmm.
something else in a relationship. So
Yeah.
even in that itself, the book didn't cover that. Did it say that he could change into something else? I
I
can't
feel like
remember
it did mention. I can't remember, but I think like it did mention like I remember they saying that yes, it's a theory and yes, this is based on whatever studies, but this is not the case. This is not a one size fit all. You understand? I mean,
Right,
like also now everybody is different. Everybody's upbringing is different, and I
hmm,
guess different people, different scenarios.
right,
Maybe you could have been a secure person, went into an environment where everybody was avoidant and you became avoidant because as organisms we naturally adapt to our environment. And maybe
right,
you were an anxious person growing up. You realize that you had to sit down with yourself. You realize that X, Y, and Z about myself, and you face the facts, and you worked on becoming more of a secure person, communicating exactly how you feel because you do not want to get trapped in a situation where you felt like you had to resort to let me get the word
Test behavior.
protest
protest
behavior
behavior.
because your needs were not being met. So I
Right,
guess in that book it says that it's not abnormal. It's like you shouldn't feel embarrassed, I guess, or immature
right,
because you're an anxious person. I
right,
remember
right,
it says in the book that as organisms, like we attach ourselves to people who we
I'm
feel
not.
more secure around. So if we feel secure there, we go there. You understand? I mean, like
right,
we attach ourselves to people that we feel secure, people that we feel like we can depend on. And let's say, for example, these people are not, let's say, okay, whatever it is that we have to do to reestablish contact, like feel secure from that person, we would do. And sometimes the best way is communication, but sometimes we do not resort to communication and then we
right.
resort to protest behavior. Because in the book, at the ending of it did speak about what would help in all attachment styles. So in
Yeah.
anxious, the best thing is communication. In avoidant, the best thing is communication. In insecure, the best thing is communication. So I feel at the end of the day, if you're able to and you're willing to express yourself freely without feeling ashamed that yes, you need a lot of love and affection, then there shouldn't be any, I guess, problems.
Right, right. And the thing is not for you to go and do this quiz and then realize, oh shoot, I'm an avoidance person, and then go around telling everybody, well, before we get into this relationship, I am an avoidance person, and if you're anxious, both that we can date. I'm an avoidance person. If you're secure, it'll be good for us. It's not for you to do art. It's for you to, as you said, communicate effectively. Because there are a
I
bunch of
agree.
examples that they gave in the book that it was just a lack of communication. Yeah.
So continue.
Right. So the communication is not just a matter of, hey, how you doing? How was your day? Tell me about this. It's about like it's some deep things in the book. He gave some examples of some deep things that these people had. I don't know if they were real examples or if they were fake examples, right? But some deep issues that these people had that if they just communicated with each other, yeah, it would
We
have
do
made the
better.
relationship better, or they would have been able to be like, okay, we're not on the same page. Let's just call this quits.
Sometimes
Right.
your behavior, the way that you behave, you're not really aware of it until somebody else makes you aware of it. You understand what I mean? So I feel like sometimes expressing the way that you feel without, like, some people, they need to learn on themselves, for themselves. They need to go maybe look up certain things, like, just to make the relationship better. Because imagine me trying to explain why it is important for me to feel love in a relationship to somebody who is avoidant.
Right.
That would be the most difficult, like right after dry bread and water.
Right.
That's
Water.
very
So
difficult.
whatever. And I get that too. But then if you told this person, this is what I want, this is like I don't need to explain to you why you need love. You just need to let the person know that this is what you want. I just in this relationship, if this had to move on, I would want you to call me every day. I would want you to do this. I would want you to do that. If the person say, well, I can't do that to do. Peace out. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, that's true.
that's all
So
it is.
I
That's all
agree
it
with
is.
you. I agree with you. I feel like maybe sometimes setting the standards from the beginning of the relationship. I am a person. I love and attention. I love XYZ. I love this. I love that. You set the bar of what you want in a relationship. So then if that and then you also look at how the person reacts to it. So if the person is like, nah, that's not really my type of vibe. I don't like hugs. Then you know that person is not for you.
Right.
Yeah, but there are some people
Exactly.
that still go, knowing
That
that
would
they
still
can't
go, and
fulfill
that's
those needs.
uh,
Motherfuckers.
That's the sucky thing, right?
Yeah.
Because some
Selfish.
person in the book did say a lot of these people they are they do end up getting together, right? They end
mm-hmm.
up getting together. Like even though the attachment styles are not good for each other, they do end up getting together and they do have serious and deep love for each other. But because
Of the attachment
you're an
styles.
avoidant and because you're an anxious person, the relationship they always arguing with each other. This person not
Mm-hmm.
being fulfilled. This. But they like each other, right? So it's easy to fall in that trap. What Veronique just said. Although you open with this person and say, well, I want hugs every day. I want 10 million kisses a day. Person know they can't do it, no, but they'll be like, yeah, I could do that, you know. And then boom, bam, bang, foolishness happen end up down the line because you like this person. You really do like this person, but it's just that you're not compatible.
Okay, so a secure person, they just gave out good points of a secure person. So a secure person is someone basically who communicates how they feel, and they don't need to hide behind protest behavior or strategies. Yeah, strategies just to say
Survive.
exactly how they feel.
Feel
So
okay.
so so
Be-
pardon?
No, I was just saying before I heard it in the book, I was thinking that this book is best for anxious people. And
Probably.
yeah, and anxious usually because anxious usually have a negative connotation. So it's like on a scale, if you had to put it on a scale, oh well, really, you're trying to be more secure and you're trying to be less anxious and avoidant, really, for you to be successful at life. But sometimes, like, tell being a really good communicator about how you feel and stuff is like it's a strategic thing. You cannot always do that in every situation because if you're in a room where people not being receptive, if we're talking about survival, you're in a room and you know that these people are not receptive to communication, I would suggest not doing it and try to figure out, like, if it's a matter of life and death, like try to figure out what you could do to maneuver yourself to get out, because even if you're a good communicator of your feelings and you think that that's what's going to help you, sometimes it's not that. Sometimes you have to just get
Yeah.
violent with people. Okay,
I
so
wanted to I wanted us to give like a view on something. I took us like a statement from one of something I read online. It
well,
says
let's do it to close.
the more effectively dependent we are on one another, the more independent and daring we become. What do you think about that statement?
The more effectively dependent we are on each other, the more independent we become.
Yeah, wow, you have good memory. I would have forgotten what I just
Yeah, me
said.
too.
In the book, he said a lot of that too, though. There was a lot of that said in the book. You remember there was an experiment that was done with husband and wives and people with strangers and looking at the brain
Their
scan, I
brain,
think,
yes,
right?
behavior,
And then
whatever. Like when they hold somebody hand.
right, and then do something, right? And then I
It was
think
they were in
after,
a room. They were in a room by themselves. I think they were like by themselves or whatever. Then they were in a room with a stranger and they were asked to hold a stranger hands. They saw some movements from the brain patterns or whatever. But when they felt okay, quote unquote okay. But when they were in a room with, let's say, a loved one or a loved one, um, they were happy.
right, the brain waves were different,
Hmm.
that same thing that you just said, he said that in the book, like you depend on people so much. We sort of have it mixed up in our head that um independence means, you know, I on my own, you
and
know,
I don't
I on
need
my own,
nobody.
and I don't need anybody, right?
A
Yeah.
But
true
he explained
independence.
it. He explained it very nicely, and I understood what he said, and I got it, because the more you're dependent people, I mean, I guess it's more secure you feel in yourself. I don't know,
Hmm.
but
I feel like if
I
I was, mhm.
Because home is secure. Like
right,
your base is secure. Like as long as your
right,
base secure, you could go out. That's what got from it. Like you could go out in the world and interact with other people.
and you have a good base because of something that you have at home that you could depend on,
Mm-hmm.
whether
That's
it be
why I feel
people,
like,
whether
mhm.
it be, I don't know,
Even
something
looking
that
at
you
it
could depend on.
physically, like your home, like your home secure. Most people, especially think about back in the day, would not wander past their house because it was not secure.
Right.
So like when your house secure, it's like you feel more comfortable to leave it.
Comfortable, yeah.
So maybe that type of
I
concept.
Oh, so I was coming to say something, and I
Sorry.
was coming to say like I feel like too that is why I take my relationships very serious, and I feel like people always know, like the people that care about me would always know like when something wrong with me, because they know me so well, and I don't base my home off my biological parents or siblings. Like my home, for me, the people that I feel secure with are the people that I feel um helped me become more secure in myself, like all of my, like, so when I was growing up, I would meet somebody who, let's see, like an adult or somebody that, let's say, just a mentor that helped me to become secure in a particular part of my life. And for me, going back to that person and making sure that person is okay, that is my home mentally. I don't know if that making sense. Because for
Hmm.
me, a home for me is not based on a physical,
Mm-hmm.
because like I feel like I'm not secure anywhere. I don't know if that making sense. But then because like I take relationships so seriously, for me, the people that I call home or family, if that makes sense, are the people that helped me to become secure in a certain part. They contributed to my life in a way that I needed. They met a
Hmm.
particular need of mine, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah,
it be
yeah, yeah, yeah.
emotionally, mentally, or whatever,
And if you didn't have those people, you would
then
have
I'll be
been
fucked.
insecure, right? You would have been anxious. You would have been scared. In my head, this is how I saw it. You feel happy, right? And if you have a really good relationship, right? Like sometimes nothing else matters in the world. In the
That's true.
startup of a relationship, sometimes you're so happy, you're so glad about it, um, that nothing else matters, nobody else matters, you don't even see other things. And to me, that is part of that independence he was talking about, because it's
Mm-mm.
not just one thing, it's several things that probably will make you feel independent. Even your friends make you feel that way. Like you go and visit your friend make you feel good, and you're happy, and you go on about your business, nothing else matters, because you have this one person or these several people that make you feel good, they make you feel good about yourself, they make you not feel
Mm-hmm.
anxious, they make you feel secure, etc. And that is where that, to me, that's the independence they were talking about,
And that's why
right?
some
Although,
people will break ties with other people in their life. Sorry, not to
If
cut you off. Just to try and secure that. Like, you see a lot of children
independence.
run by their friends or whatever, close to their friends and their family. because like they feel like they could be more themselves and whatever.
Right, 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 right. And you could be yourself when you are independent.
Right. So yeah, let's try to
Let's
wrap it
close
up.
it off. How do we close it off? With a prayer?
Okay, so that's our discussion on the book. I guess let's just give it a ranking right now. Chelsea, go first. Oh, let me go first.
Um,
Chelsea, you go last. You're the person who suggested.
mhm.
Because this was 3 months ago, I don't have the same attachment to the book as I did, but I think it was okay. I just think it was very repetitive.
Yeah.
I loved the fact that for everything they had a study, like an actual scientific study that happened to prove their point. Because you know me, I like my little research and study. So yeah, like I like that. But I mean, 8 out of 10, I guess, just because I can't. It was just too repetitive. But I think it's very good information, and I think whoever whoever reads this, they'll get something from it. There's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Me, I would give it a 8 too, I guess, and for similar reasons. It was a good book. It was a good read or a good listen, whatever. There was a lot of information in it that, again, just like a lot of the books that we read, I knew like in your head, but I never
Yeah,
sat and thought about it. And this book would be good for, you mentioned this earlier. I feel like this book would be good for a person that is considered anxious, right? They would
yeah,
read it because I feel like a lot of the things they were saying, and just based on anxious behavior attachment, right? They in their head, they do think that it's I wouldn't say wrong or immature, because Charles Lacey corrected that, right? In their head, they don't feel like it is abnormal, or they don't feel like this is something that might hamper their relationship, right? So this book would be good for somebody that is anxious. I don't know any anxious people that I would probably recommend this book to, but it would be better for somebody that's anxious. Avoidance people, they need Jesus. They need a different kind of help. It would be good for anxious people so that they could know how, to move or how to do things differently to help their relationships. Because I feel like anxious people are the ones that most times just seek out relationships. There are people that are like that, that they can't not have a girlfriend or not have a boyfriend. It's are people that are like that, and those to me are the anxious people that need help the most to be secure in a relationship. So the book would be good for them. But I'll give it a 8 out of 10.
For me, I give the book a 9. I disagree with you both. I do not feel like the book was repetitive. I feel like this book was fair, and it's not only for anxious people, but it gave fair amounts of descriptions of examples, sorry, of avoidance attachment styles. I feel like it's a good book for just understanding who you are, and not solely who you are, but maybe some parts of you that needs improvements, and how you could go about improving it with effective communication. So again, I give this book a 9. I feel like it's for everybody, and as Veronique said, if you read this book, you will come out with something. It's for avoidant, it's a for avoidant, it's for anxious, and it's for a
Secure.
confident person, a secure person. A secure person will learn about the anxious and the avoidance, and maybe how to deal with them properly, or persons who have certain traits. You understand what I mean? So it's a good book, and I give it a 9. I give it a 9 because I mean, you say it should only be for the anxious person, but that if you maybe go back and read it, maybe because you can, maybe because it's so far, you read it like 3 months ago, and you kind of give a fair judgment, you
So
know.
you
So
accuse it.
are you mad? What? I
so
give 8. Are you mad? Because
And the thing
that's
is,
your book.
no,
I
it's
agree with what you said though. Like in
because you
terms
said
of
that it's only for anxious. Because
what
if
not.
you remember reading, it spoke a lot about avoidance. It gave a lot of scenarios where I could have
Yeah, but
pinpointed
then
people in my life.
it said in the book itself that that's why I said before I heard this in the book, I thought it was for anxious. only like I think it said something in the book like the book could sound like it's mainly for anxious people or it is mainly for us to get to secure. But obviously they will talk about the other two, but I don't think they talked about it
Right.
as much
All right. And
as
you
anxious.
and you're right when you said it's for everybody because although you are a secure person, you're gonna come across people that have like anxious attachment styles and avoidance attachment styles. So it's for you to learn how to deal with them, to stay away from them, I guess, how to,
And
what to
how
look
to like
for.
identify people, like identify person's needs in your life. So if you
Right.
know that you have, let's say, if it could even be your own children. Say you give birth, you have a child, right? And you realize that child, you can know, you can quickly identify that that child is an avoidant. So then you know how to address those avoidant um parts in their, or parts of their behaviors or whatever it is. Like you know how to address them,
You know
or
what
to
to
speak to
expect.
them, or what to expect. And if you have a child that is very anxious, then you know how to approach that child or that person or
All
whatever.
I
But
can say,
I shouldn't say child
I
because
feel
it's like it's
sorry
based off you.
for Jimmy. That's all I can say. And
Huh?
and
The lighting making me. I love the
Uh,
lighting on you there.
you
yeah,
feel
I
sorry
say
for
I feel
him?
sorry. Because he's more secure. He's more of a secure. He have a little bit of the others in some, but his main personality is secure. And I think probably with my issue is like but I know I didn't drive him crazy.
Now that you know that Jimmy is secure and you are whatever you are, you could not call him 10 million times when
No,
he would
no,
get,
no. I do.
you
That
know.
part.
I
I
know,
think
I joking.
no,
Because that's the
I've done that.
anxious
I have done
Simon.
that, but no, that has taken me. I've done that in the past and even with him too. But it's like it's just when something snapped inside of me, but it's not like natural. Like oh, especially
Yeah.
if I was upset or something, and I was like, ah, answer me, like. I just do it over and over just to be crazy, just to be crazy. Like I conscious of it.
See, and then that's the next thing to it. Like you could not be an anxious person, but you do that just because you're angry.
Yeah.
You
Also, like,
know.
I just think a part of you just comes out. I
Yeah,
mean,
my
all
butt
right.
hurting.
So wait, the new book. Who is doing
I put
the?
it in the chat.
What is it? Tell me what it is. Tell
It's
us.
called. I keep forgetting the other part. Hold on. It's
Do you have
called
to
the
introduce your book?
transmigration.
Oh Lord. Of slaves.
No, the
Oh.
transmigration, right? And it's the lost years of Jesus Christ. Right? To be honest, there is absolutely like I have no reason why the book was chosen. I saw it and I was like, this looks like it's going to be very interesting. Right? And I
Okay.
think it's a novel. I feel like of course, it's a story, right? So it will be very interesting because I'm sure
Oh,
you
it's
guys know a lot of the
fictional.
yeah.
So which years is the lost years of Jesus? Like between 12
And
and
33.
30? Well,
Yeah.
30. Well, I think his thing lasted about 3 years. No, I think I can't remember
Right, right.
his whole
Right,
career,
so between 12 and 30,
adult
losses
career.
of Jesus. His
Oh
adult
boy,
career. So I just thought it would be an interesting book. So I was like,
11 hours. Okay, all right, fine, fine. Let's do this.
It's
you
not
have a
bad,
whole
huh?
month.
I'm
Okay,
ready.
so that's the end of this episode. If you've read the book, let us know. Tell us what you think. Did you agree? Did you not agree? And look out for our next episode where we'll review the trans migrant, the lost story in the lost year, the story of the lost years of Jesus. That's what it is, right?
Should be fun, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah,
Transmigration.
I looking forward to it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
me
check it
too.
out.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. Okay, bye.
Bye bye.